Welcome to Werks. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you do, please like, subscribe, and comment. Today's video is about disposing of an old burn barrel and setting up a new burn barrel. Some people would drag the old burn barrel into the woods or let it sit in place and let it rust to nothing over a few years. I decided I didn't want to do that and searched for a place I could dispose of it in my local area. I found two places, but they wanted way more than I was willing to pay for the disposal of the old burn barrel, and it was going to end up in a landfill instead of being recycled. I already have trash service, so I decided to cut up the old barrel and put it in our trash, knowing that it would end up in a landfill and not be recycled. I decided I wanted to cut the barrel up into smaller pieces and put those pieces into a cardboard box for easily handling. I had a few different ways of cutting up the old burn barrel. I could have sawed it up, cut it up with tin snips, or used my plasma cutter. Easy decision. I set up the plasma cutter and the air compressor. The barrel was rusted through in a few places, and it was completely covered in rust due to heat and rain. Those issues presented a few problems. First, I had to make sure to get a good grounding contact for the plasma cutter, and secondly, the surface rust and rust through would cause the plasma to have poor cuts. I made sure to have the best grounding contacts that I could, and decided to slow the cutting process down a little and adjust the settings on the plasma cutter. A few other issues came to my attention as I made the cuts. My air compressor was a little undersized for the demands of the plasma cutter, so I had to stop cutting and allow the air compressor to catch up. I was also running the air compressor and plasma torch off the same 20 amp outlet and breaker, so you could hear the compressor strain when it was running, and I fired the plasma. And the plasma arc suffered as well when the air compressor was running. I never tripped the breaker, and when I paused the cutting with the plasma cutter to let the air compressor catch up, that solved the problem of the air compressor drawing the current from the plasma cutter and affecting the cut. I haven't used the plasma cutter in a while and figured this would give me some good practice cutting and show me where I needed to improve on my skills using the plasma torch. I decided to cut the rim off the barrel first and make the adjustments to the torch as I went. I used the rim as a guide to help me cut a straight line around the barrel to remove the rim. I got the speed down and the angle of the torch shed, although I did try different speeds and angles to find a happy place. Once I found the happy place for the plasma settings, the cuts went pretty good. The kerf was good as well, and the rim separated from the barrel easily. Next, I decided to cut the upper section of the barrel along the embossed stiffening rib on the side of the barrel. This would be a freehand cut without the use of a guide to help me cut a straight line, although I did eyeball the cut with the rib to keep the cut straight. The cut went really well, and I felt that it was about as straight as I could do free-handed. I did have two places that I had to go back and recut where the molten metal fused back together, most likely due to the rust buildup and the lack of power from the air compressor kicking on. The next section would be a little more difficult because of the heavy rust and the rusted through areas would affect the plasma. I figured this cut would be ugly and poor, and I was right. You can see some holes that were blown through in the cut. I went a little slower and had to recut a few areas, but it did cut the middle section of the barrel off. It really has a jagged cut and a curve where the plasma hit the rust through areas, and I lost continuity, which meant that the plasma arc stopped and then kicked on, resulting in a blowout. I then used the bottom section of the old barrel to hold the upper sections while I cut them into smaller pieces. These cuts went pretty smoothly for the most part. I did have to support the pieces during the cut because they were flopping around and would cause me to lose continuity through the plasma arc. As I finished cutting off the pieces, I would toss them in an old moving box for easy disposal. In hindsight, I should have cut some designs out of the cut-off pieces just to have some additional practice cutting and learning. I then cut the lower section away from the bottom of the burn barrel. I wanted to keep the bottom as one piece so that I could use it under the new burn barrel to help control fires from starting around the burn barrel and place some concrete blocks on and rise the new burn barrel up for better airflow to the fire inside the burn barrel. That would also aid in helping water flow away from the burn barrel and maybe slow the rust down. I did really have to balance and hold the last section steady for cutting by hand because I didn't have anything handy to set it in like I did in the previous sections. I now needed to prep the new burn barrel by cutting holes in the bottom and slits in the sides for airflow. A side benefit of the holes in the bottom allow any water that enters into the barrel to drain out easily. That went well and only took a few minutes to perform because there wasn't any rust to deal with and the ground contact had clean metal to clamp onto. I do have a lid for the new burn barrel, and that will help keep rainwater from the ash inside of it. Rainwater and ash will mix and become very caustic and speed the rusting of the barrel. I will set the old burn barrel bottom on the ground and put a few landscape bricks on it to help elevate the new burn barrel. The best part of this job is lighting the new burn barrel and watching the flames dance out of the top of the barrel. I'm not sure why I got double images of the flame, other than I'm not real experienced with shooting videos at night. If you know what causes, please feel free to email or let me know in the comments section. Thank you for watching Werks, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did like the video, please give a thumbs up, subscribe for future videos, and comment. Thanks again.